It's Wednesday, April 5th, and are you ready for some football? It's time for the 359 podcast, and in the house today, we have Alfred Ng and Ben Fox Rubin. Good morning, guys.
Hey.
I am ready for hand egg.
Hand egg?
Hand egg, baby.
Okay. God damn it, we're so nerdy. This is really...
Dude, it's not football.
We're a little out of our wheelhouse here today.
No, we're not. I love football. Football
He
is
does.
like one of the only sports that I watch. It is probably the only sport I watch. The Philadelphia Eagles.
Giants.
Bills.
Okay. All right.
The
We're
only
all,
real
we're all
New
East
York team.
Coasters. Yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I only picked the Giants because they're the only team to stop Tom Brady from winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, I could completely agree with that sentiment for sure, but unfortunately, I think we've lost our entire tech audience.
Yeah.
With all this talk about football.
We promise we're going to bring it back full circle. There's a point to this.
This is about streaming. So Amazon, we're going to talk about on the show. They snagged the NFL games on Thursday night, which is going to go live globally for about $50 million. And we're also going to be talking about care robots, which at this point are going to be focused on helping out senior citizens and the elderly. And yeah, we'll get into that. Katie Collins wrote about that earlier today. As always, send in your questions and comments, and we'll get to as many as we can at the end of the show. And that's about it for now. We'll see you in 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
From 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Amazon pulled in the streaming rights for the NFL's Thursday night football games this upcoming season, but it didn't come cheap. For the one-year deal, the company reportedly paid $50 million, 5 times what Twitter coughed up last season. Competition was tough this year, with Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube all reportedly bidding. Also, wanted to throw out a disclosure. CBS, our beloved corporate overlords, also air Thursday night football games along with NBC and the NFL Network. So, Alfred, $50 million for the streaming rights globally. You think it was worth it?
Definitely not. What a stupid investment. It didn't even pay off that much for Twitter when they did it.
You think so?
I think there was an audience growth for Twitter. And the fact is that, you know, for Twitter, it made sense because people love live tweeting.
All sorts of things.
And Twitter integrated where it was kind of on the sidebar where like it would fit in with your tweets and people could search your comments and your tweets in the same way that you can do it on Twitter now.
That
it made
definitely
so
gave
much
me
sense.
a reason to check out the games live on Twitter to kind of see what people were saying live at the exact same time. However, putting it on Amazon doesn't really change that. Twitter has often been a second screen for me if I'm watching like an Eagles game or, you know, the State of the Union address or whatever. So it doesn't take that away from Twitter.
How often do you go on Amazon to watch something live?
Very, very little. I think one of their only live shows is this thing called Style Code Live, which I'm not sure anybody watches. And it's basically QVC for millennials or something.
It just made so much more sense if it were to go to Twitter or Facebook or even YouTube, which all have the live chat capabilities on the side. For me personally, I still think Twitter makes the most sense because that's where all the pundits and the analysts, you're going to get, you know, like top rated comments on there.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, random person
but
who's
they
like,
have no money.
Go Jets.
They have no money. That's the thing, is that Amazon easily outbid them. And it showed that these global streaming rights have an enormous amount of value, that they went up from 10 million to 50 million.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, unless they're putting it on Twitch, like maybe Twitch.
Maybe it'll go on Twitch.
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. To put it on Amazon, I don't get it at all.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, tell me how you really
For
feel.
$50 million? Come on. You could send me to the space for that.
I hope
You didn't want to go to space.
That was Brian, by the way, our producer. Also, we wanted to get to this other story. Our own Katie Collins wrote about the emerging world of care robots, which can help senior citizens with simple tasks around the house, like closing the fridge or answering the door. One example was this cute little rabbit dog thing called Miro, which works with a wristband to track your vitals. There's also, of course, Pepper the robot. Alfred, would you give this to grandma? Is this something that you would actually feel comfortable using for a senior in your life?
If I can get it for free, definitely. I
Definitely
don't want
not
to pay
free.
for a robot for something that I could probably do for free.
You think so?
I mean, I think I could do it. I just don't think I'd have time for it.
See, that's the thing too, is that there's going to be this enormous amount of demand with like more of the population getting older and graying and, dying later. And maybe robots are actually going to solve this issue.
I mean, to be fair, I love robots in the home. Like my Roomba, it has been the greatest thing that I've gotten. And then, I have an Echo Dot also. That's not exactly a robot.
It's not a robot.
It's been nice. I get to talk to Alexa when I come home.
It does make me wonder, if you put in an Echo on wheels, is it then a robot?
Yeah, I'm gonna glue my
your Echo
onto my Roomba, and it just goes around the room.
It'll be the party Roomba. So, do you ever talk to your Roomba and like ask it questions and try to treat it like a friend?
I've named it.
What's the Roomba's name?
SpongeBot.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, if you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ing.
Thanks for listening.
In the chat,
Brian, you were like
I
totally
was waiting.
The reason I was
blowing up my spot.
I was losing my mind off camera was because Michael Brown, and we've got our new hashtag. I love my boy Alfred, but I'd be more excited for Amazon catching Alfred's man bun being cut off for $50 million.
Oh, definitely. Amazon should absolutely pay $50 million for that man bun.
If they paid me $50 million, I'd cut my hair.
By
This
the
is
way,
the first time I've bunned it on the
Is
show.
this your next Kickstarter?
This is the first. Fair enough. Michael Brown is a regular viewer, so he knows about Alfred's man bun. But you're right; it hasn't been on the show in quite some
because
time.
I cut my hair like a few weeks ago, and I was waiting for it to grow back. And now it has. Now it's return of the bun.
I actually thought it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny because people were making fun of your man bun on this show, and then you got your haircut pretty soon afterward. And you were telling me, you were like, I really hope our YouTube viewers don't think it's because of them that I got a haircut.
No, I got it cut because I'm like, I plan out how long I want my hair to grow by a certain month. And the way that I had it planned, I don't know why we're talking about this. It's not related to technology at all.
This is completely derailed, but that's fine.
Sorry, everybody.
We don't care.
But basically,
you can move on.
I have
if you don't
plans for it to be long in
bun.
September, and the way that I had it was like, oh, it's going to be long by like August. And
You've now lost me. All right, moving on. Let's get to the questions before we talk any more about the man bun. But Michael Brown, always good to have you on the show.
Just had to shout that out. Thank you very much for that.
And you definitely, you cracked up Brian like while I was trying to get through my script. So well done, sir.
If you paid me $50 million, I'll cut it.
If you pay me $50 million,
pay me $50 and I'll cut it.
I would definitely also cut off all my hair for $50 million.
A lot of people are really in favor of this Amazon acquisition. I think it's a smart move, too. I know last year, 2 years ago, I forget how long ago it was. I've lost all sense of time. We watched the game that was in the UK. That was broadcast on Yahoo. And that was actually a pleasant experience. Like, I had to put Yahoo on my Xbox, but...
That was definitely one of the earliest iterations of this concept.
Right.
And obviously the NFL and probably the other sporting networks, sporting groups, what do you want to call them?
Sport fellows.
Sport appreciation organizations.
Again, wheelhouse.
They're all realizing that these streaming rights probably have an enormous amount of value. And the NFL obviously gave Twitter a pretty awesome deal for 10 games for only $10 million. Yeah, it's like $1 million a game.
I mean, if anything, sports games are the biggest reason why cord cutters like don't actually go all the way, because it's like I want to be able to watch, the football game live, and that's why I still have a TV. Otherwise, I watch everything on my computer.
One thing that is a little unfortunate about Amazon getting the rights to this is you have to be an Amazon Prime member to actually watch these games globally.
Yeah.
So that is... with Twitter, all you really needed was to get a Twitter account, and
be an
it was
egg.
you just needed to be an egg, and then it was
collectively
available.
As the rest of the world rolls their eyes and goes, America, that's not actually football.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I called it hand egg.
That's or American football. You want to call it American football? That's perfectly reasonable.
It's
suppose.
still fun to watch.
But
it's fun to eat wings.
Amazon is obviously gating this behind its Prime wall because they want to be a bigger player.
They paid a ton of money for it.
Yeah, and they want to be a bigger player in video. And the reason for that is mostly to get more people to join on to Prime. So why not try to get people to pay that at $99 a year? That's the US.
Curious to see what that crossover is and how much this acquisition will actually pull a new audience into Prime, people who are football fans who weren't already Prime subscribers.
Yeah, and to be frank about it, I cover Amazon, and I really think that Amazon spends this enormous amount of money building out its original shows. This is $50 million for 10 games just for 1 year. This isn't going to be added to their catalog. It's not like you're going to be able to like watch the NFL games like a year or two from now on
right?
Prime. Yeah, that's not going to happen. No. So this is a really expensive form of customer acquisition if that is what they're doing with video, which is, you know, they want to get you in the door with video, and then you're going to start using their 2-day shipping, and before you know it, you're going to be buying everything from Amazon. I mean, like, that's their general play.
Danny expands on that idea. He says maybe Amazon will throw in a chat window, auction window, or deals window to display beside the game, run special sales during the game, one-touch buy.
Yeah,
that's a smart move.
It's a smart move.
Buy your Tebow jersey or something.
It rolls pretty cynical.
It rolls
right?
an ad for Bud Light, and then you just Bud Light, you know.
Yeah, and get it through Prime Now, so it shows up at your door like within an hour.
But the thing is,
they don't deliver alcohol, but
no, they do deliver alcohol in a couple different cities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't see the live streamed games like being able to attract people to go to Amazon and buy and get a Prime account though, because if it's something that I can already watch for free on like CBS, or shouts out to the company.
Shout out to Les.
On like CBS or like NBC or on TV in general. Why would I shell out $99 a year just to be able to watch it online? I mean, obviously there's a lot of other perks that come with it, but
cord cutters who don't have.
Right. Or look,
and it's testing the waters of what is inevitably going to take over.
I just don't see it attracting like new subscribers.
And it might not. And it might not work.
I think it's definitely a nice make good for those of us who have already departed that though.
Right. And you're probably a Prime member, right?
I'm definitely a Prime member.
You're already paying the $99, so this is a nice additional benefit for you. On top of that, and I don't know much about this, but Prime members in Germany or Japan or some of these other major countries where Amazon has a lot of penetration, maybe this actually makes it easier for that worldwide audience to see American football if that is what they want to do.
The superior football.
The best football ever. Yeah. I mean, I tried to watch soccer more than once. It's very boring.
Here's a good comment. I'm sorry if I'm going to screw up your name, but it's Pele. I need the biggest pack TV to watch the sport I need to watch. With streaming, I can't. Worrying about what that's constrained to. Like, this is just football, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking about like what? It's not going to stream at like 1080p or 4K or something?
Do we know what the picture quality is going to be for this?
It's going to be at least 1080p.
Well, I think he's taking more of a perspective where it's like, usually with streaming, you think of it as like a second screen kind of thing, where it's like it's on your laptop screen or you're watching streaming it on your phone,
which is a smaller screen.
But like on Twitter, when the games first started, they were giving out capabilities to kind of like they released like apps for it on like the Roku and Apple TV that people could watch it on their TVs easily. And Chromecast, like it was very easy to do that with too.
Fire Stick, game consoles, so on.
Yeah, especially with Fire Stick. I wonder what Amazon's going to do with that as far as like streaming goes. Because they have a Fire Stick,
yeah.
They'll probably release an app for that too.
Yeah.
You think it'll be an isolated app?
No, but maybe.
I mean, that's what Twitter
Potentially.
did.
Was it?
Yeah.
I never watched the game on Twitter, full disclosure.
I haven't either.
I messed around with it and I tried to get it to work on my Fire TV and didn't.
I saw a few people doing it at the bar.
I watched it on mobile. That's basically how I got it to work. And yeah, as we had mentioned before, it made it gave you more of a reason to go on Twitter because you could watch the game. It was kind of small, but then you could see a bunch of people commenting.
But they were
saying,
they were looking. Twitter was more so looking for like the mobile audience. Where like I was watching the Final Four game on Monday on Twitter, but like I was following it like on my Twitter feed while I was at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think they're trying to catch more of that audience. But I think what our commenter is asking for. He's more of like the guy that like wants to sit down on the big couch with like the TV,
the big
screen
TV,
and then,
the big bowl of popcorn.
Yeah,
but like I don't think streaming is going to take anything away from there.
I mean, there might be like quality issues with that, especially depending on your like internet.
Netflix,
I mean, then it's
Netflix
the same
already
hesitation.
Does 4K.
Well, that's the hesitation you have with any kind of streaming platform.
Yeah, I think that's
there's lag and fall off. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen, but you also have interrupted signal. You have cable fail.
Yeah,
there's always flaws.
But the thing about that though is like it's okay for that with like Netflix because it's not live. I can always like rewind it or something like that. As far as like a football game goes, it's like that's live, and I think that's why people want that like uninterrupted experience.
Right, and not have like the stream degrade.
But I think like if any like of the four that were on there, I think the only company that like bid for Thursday Night Football, I think Amazon probably like had the second or first best like capabilities to hold a steady stream on that. Considering like don't like half their servers run the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
AWS.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
I mean, like the only one.
Netflix runs its entire business through AWS.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, so that's definitely a good point, and maybe that'll give our commenter more reason to use this.
I
guess.
could only see like Google and YouTube being able to compete with that.
Maybe YouTube will get it next year for like 100 million. I mean,
Well,
like
they're starting off with that YouTube Live, right? The TV, like
that is expected to come, pretty soon. Actually,
maybe they'll get the Monday night games.
I don't know. I mean, like it's just money sitting out there for the NFL folks.
Well, yeah. How does that work? Like, so
group.
if YouTube Live has like a basic like channel, like let's say it has NBC on it or something,
Mm-hmm.
and NBC airs Thursday night football games,
They usually get blacked out.
that's so
It's
stupid.
really annoying.
That's really dumb.
I've had
The
to-
whole
But it's
NFL thing
NBC.
is really
Yeah.
annoying.
Right, but
That makes no
it's-
sense.
There's agreements that agree that sketch out what platforms it's going to be available on.
Right.
Just like syndicated radio programming that pick up from national distributors, they have to black out games on that.
Yeah, and
sometimes.
they black out games depending. I mean, like I'm an Eagles fan, and like Eagles games get blacked out all the time because
Because you don't
there's the
wanna
Jets
watch the
games.
Eagles.
Because there's the Jets games, the Giants games, and also the Bills games.
Like the better
Mhm.
teams.
But sometimes, okay, geez, this is tough. But you know who does it the best is CBS. I just
Get out. No,
Stop shilling.
they do it always. They always do it right. I'm just kidding. No, they're
going back on a point you had before the show, Imagine Sagi says the funny thing is these Thursday night games are so low quality in football terms that it really isn't worth the $50 million price tag. Terrible fan experience. It's JV NFL games. Ouch.
That's what I told him. I told him
Ouch.
that
I
that's the
didn't
only
agree.
reason why they were up for streaming.
I didn't. Okay, I mean, the whole reason they started Thursday night football games is to just get you watching more games, as opposed to like trying to cram more and more into them into Sunday, because they've got like the 3 different slots on Sunday. They got like the early game, the afternoon game, and then Sunday night
And then
football.
the bad games.
So I don't actually agree that they take the crappiest Sunday game and then make it Thursday night football. In many ways, it's like, like they try to like play it up. It's sort of like a watered down version of Monday Night Football. So I don't actually agree with that. I think like
You just said it was a
watched-
watered down version, though.
Yeah, but Monday Night Football is usually the one that they save. Like this is like the really big marquee one. So it's just like a slight step
But
down from there.
It's still a step down, though.
Okay, but I still think it's. I would give it more credence than our commenter did. But okay, we can agree to disagree.
I think I'm indifferent. I think it's just the experience in itself is just kind of a fun kind of, but I'm a very casual fan.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. I like the Bills. I can't
Yeah.
be that passionate. If I had my hopes up that high, I wouldn't still be here.
Look, I mean, like the Eagles have. I wish the Eagles had lost that many Super Bowls. Like that would have been nice.
I'm just like,
I mean, there's more premium content in isolated apps too. Like the NFL has a Fire Stick app and everything that you can go and get exclusive interviews, games, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
blah,
Yeah, and
so-
Verizon has always had like they also have like their deal with the NFL too, where you can stream like local games through your Verizon.
on like
phone.
Go 90.
I think it's. I don't even think it's Go 90.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's the NFL game. It's also like through the NFL Network app or like a Verizon app or something.
There's
like
another
that.
network syndicator app that I tried the other day called Fubo. Maybe you've ever heard of Fubo?
No.
It's similar to like it plays out like it's an actual cable provider type thing, right down to like the navigation screen and all that. Like if you got Dish Network or whatever. But it was again major network kind of stuff. So that was actually kind of cool to see that there. But that's very young. It's not a household name yet. Amazon bringing football, like that's headlines everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're really trying to like do a big push in video. All their earnings calls, they talk about how they're going to be spending a lot more money in video and original content. So I would expect this to be like a really big headline for them this year, but there's probably going to be more to come in 2017 from Amazon as they try to like beat out Netflix or at least be a stronger competitor against Netflix. They have expectations that YouTube is going to be doing more stuff. So I mean, like it makes sense.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
they would
like-
try to get something like the NFL.
Live streaming is where everything is heading because, of all these cord cutters. And
This is testing waters
Yeah.
more than anything else, is seeing how well this kind of plays out,
Right.
testing technology, seeing what the server capacity could be, what the audience retention is going to be, how to better serve, because it'll probably change the format, like the delivery of the game. We're so used to the timed out, the commercial breaks. This will probably change that.
That's a good point.
Like ultimately, if it gets off broadcast, they don't need to take FCC regulated commercial breaks. It'll be integrated into the
Yeah, and
screen.
I've seen like tournaments on Twitch before. Like they do they stream Evo every year, and for like out of lot, it's like a fighting game tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a 3 day affair, and it's like they do a pretty good job with the commercials there, and basically, like I guess the commentators, people talking, analysis, and all that stuff. They do a pretty good job like streaming it on Twitch. So I have no reason to think Amazon will do a bad job with this. I just don't think it's a smart investment at all
It's
for $50
definitely
million.
It's definitely
They
a
have
good
the
point.
money to blow
Oh,
to
yeah,
that's
try
the
it,
thing,
to
too.
try this out, and then ultimately when they get their footing, they'll make it a smart business move.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend that kind of money, you do it on something splashy,
Yeah.
like the NFL.
Exactly.
So to me, it makes sense. $50 million is not a ton of money for Amazon, and they were obviously able to blow Twitter out of the water with that kind of money.
Twitter is doing their live streaming for baseball now too. They they announced the 10 games that they have on schedule for that. So that might I think Twitter is a better place for baseball than it is for football, but just because it's so slow paced. But
Yeah. So you can like
And it's
chat
open
with
for a lot
people.
more conversation. It's
Yeah.
a commentator sport.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I like to see this direction continued, bringing more and more interactivity into the sport
Yeah.
genre.
Like the actual
Yeah.
interface.
Yeah. I think that's that could really be a good thing because, like, again, as a cord cutter, I do have an antenna, but I live in a basement apartment. I have terrible reception, so it's usually like me standing on top of the back of the couch, holding the antenna out the window, hoping for the best, to get a picture on a game. So actually being able to just like, screw it, hope my internet holds up.
Yeah.
That's a much better solution for me.
There's like
For
one
sure.
tree outside of my apartment that's blocking my antenna from getting NBC, which is very frustrating.
Ouch.
That tree was planted by CBS. All right, we probably got to wrap it up. That's been a good long discussion about
Yeah.
something that's not usually on this show.
Right. Well, it was Amazon related, so
Also, if you'd like to buy our stream for $50 million,
just let us know.
Yeah.
Or watch it for free on YouTube.
And keep your eyes out for the Kickstarter to cut off Alfred's man bun.
Right.
I'm not starting that. Someone else can start that.
Well, we'll see if that happens. Okay, the 359 is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Feedburner, and Google Play Music.
I think you forgot
And
CNET. It's
Is it
available
on
on
CNET?
CNET. It is. I
Of
checked.
course.
Of course
It's available on
Of
CNET.
course.
I hate you.
All right, thanks everybody.
See you tomorrow. Go Bills.